So, oh, my microphone works. There we go. So it is 11:45. There's good news and bad news today. The good news is we're almost done. You can go home, back to your house. Bad news is we have one more session to go. So for today, I am Cornel. We have Mohammed Salim, or MSP, with us as well. Unfortunately, he's feeling a bit ill today, so he will not be able to join our session. I did want to tell you something about MSP because he did contribute quite a lot to this session. He is, so you'll see his name is Mohammed Salim. He is a senior program manager at Microsoft. Been more than 10 years at Microsoft. He works in the customer experience and deployment team. Same team as I am. He is a big roller coaster enthusiast, so he travels to the US to visit some of these roller coasters. Ask him about his favorite one. He has a lot of knowledge about them. He collects glass sea life. So some of our teams, they do weird things. One of the weird things he does is he collects glass sea life. So if you have glass whales, glass dolphins, things like that, send it to him. He enjoys them. He's a proud father of a lovely family. He is a standing desk advocate. So if you're not standing, you're doing it wrong. That's what he always says. And he lives in Redmond in a nice wood cabin. So that's MSP. About me. So I have spent 6 years at Microsoft. I have 12 plus years experience in networking and the real-time communication space. I work in the same team as MSP. I focus on customer happiness. I live in the Netherlands, which is an actual country, and Holland is not. That is the one thing my team always annoys me about. So I live in Houten, small town in the middle of the Netherlands. I live there with 2 cats and my girlfriend. I'm not allowed to use a picture of one of them, so guess whose picture got up there? So the cute girlfriend. Yeah, that's you wouldn't imagine how cuddly she is. So that will work. So my 2 cats. I'm once again not a crazy cat lady or crazy cat guy. This is just I'm just not allowed to have a picture of my girlfriend up here because she knows these sessions get recorded and then she doesn't want a picture out there. I like to overdo stuff. That is what people have told me. So I started beer brewing a couple of years ago, and you see where that ended up. And I like 3D printing, so we all see where that ended up. So that is some of the stuff I do, some stuff I like doing, and some stuff that I like doing. So overdoing stuff is one of the things that I really poured into the network planner. So for today, I want to talk really quickly about real-time communications. Then we're going to talk about the network planner. Then I'm just going to show it. So it only took 3 minutes for the introduction, so we are good there. So I tried to do a little bit about the real-time communications and the plans about network planner for a little bit. And I'm just going to show it. And I know some of you also, so I've shown, at past conferences, I've shown our network testing tool. There's a new version coming. If you have some time, also show the new version. There's some cool stuff in that. But then we have to make sure that William Looney, he gets a credit for it because his team is building that. Anyway, so a little bit about real-time communications. We talk a lot about RTC, real-time communications, because that's the workload that I like. That's voice, video, desktop sharing, basically any form of any workload over your network where it's critical that it gets there on time. I believe this is the official way of saying what RTC is. However, basically, when we talk about RTC, we talk about audio. We talk about video. We talk a little bit about desktop sharing. Some people really care about desktop sharing. If you're a big CAD-based company, and not the 4-feet ones, but the design ones, you care about a quick desktop share, right? Because you're showing things to your customers, to your colleagues. You want it to be quick. So in those cases, desktop sharing certainly falls under RTC. We have special traffic classes for those, expedited forwarding, assured forwarding. Basically, what they do is they help classify the traffic and they ensure that traffic gets there quickly. For audio, we care that it gets there quickly and we don't lose any traffic along the way. For video, we just care that it gets there quickly and we try to not lose traffic along the way. But we care more about the traffic getting there quickly than we care about getting it there completely. That sounds a little bit counterproductive. However, if you ever tried having a call with someone, so a fun experiment at home, try someone, call someone on a cell phone, then find a window, set one guy on the, or girl, whatever you want, on one side of the window, you go stand on the other side so you can see them speak, but can't really hear them, but only can hear them over the mobile phone, and try to have a conversation. It's going to be next to impossible because your brain will tell you they're speaking and your ear is saying no, they're not. And it's going to be super hard. So we don't really have that problem with when you're in a conference call, but it's still super important for you to get that audio there very quick, or your brain is saying, oh, they're not speaking, or they're really thinking about something, or and if we drop a letter here and there, or just a very little bit of sound, it's not super important. We care more about getting a complete sentence there quickly than we care about just the A being very long. That was a very rough description of why we care more about it getting there speedy than completely, but I hope you get the gist. When we talk about, excuse me, I've had a very bad cough, so I'm sorry about that, but you're far away, so no problem. RDC, when we talk about RDC, it's the weather vane of your deployment. I put a nice little alligator weather vane there because we are in Florida. So if you went to Thomas's session, he talked about that 90% of your deployment and 90% of your users will be using IM, will be using text, they'll be using file sharing, things like that, and 10% is using RTC. But when a text gets there late, no one's going to notice. If audio is going to get there late, everybody's going to complain. No one ever sent you nice messages about, oh, my audio call was so great. They're going to send you messages, yeah, I really couldn't hear the guy. I had real issues with my conference call. So when real-time communications goes down the drain, you're going to know about it. So it is the first sign of, hey, your deployment is going badly. So very quickly, that's RTC. That's what we care about when we talk about RTC, and that's the main factor. It's what you spend the most time on planning, and it's usually the least about being used. However, it's the first thing that you'll hear about when it goes wrong. So some of the things we heard from you. In this morning session, we talked about things like user voice and how we listen to our customers, and we actually do. So some of the things we heard about RTC and planning for it, that it's hard. And the tools that you have are super complicated. I don't know, so who's used the bandwidth calculator, the Excel sheet? I did. Isn't that a fun sheet? So it works, but it sort of takes training to actually use it, and then so Mary is one of the main contributors to this. He's a super smart guy, and he really likes numbers. And the amount of effort he puts in there, and the amount of configuration you can do, it's insane. But 90% of our customers are not going to use that. They just want a simple number. Hey, what do I plan for? And once I'm deployed, I'll see how much more or less I can use. So a lot of our customers saying, hey, we just need Microsoft to tell us what we need to meet. What do we need to do? We'll do it, and we'll adjust after. Things like, hey, we're happy to provide networking details when we go to Office 365, but you're the 15th guy that's asking me for this. Okay, so I've done this once, but we've made some changes. Do I need to go through this entire thing again? Why can't you just save it somewhere? We're going to change some stuff. Do we need to do everything again? Is it not a smarter way? Some of the things we did with the network plan, so with the bandwidth calculator, you get some nice graphs, and sometimes they were correct, and then those graphs didn't really mean that much to when you had to report out. So we heard all of those complaints, and we heard a lot of those suggestions. And remember when I said I like overdoing stuff? So we started building a network planner. And the objective for the network planner is very easy. So I got annoyed by the Excel sheet, to be honest, because it works great, but I had to spend like a day every single time I went to a customer explaining how it worked, how they should complete it, that they should definitely keep it up to date. And because only a few people then really understood it, no one really kept it up to date. That was reality. So what we wanted was a centralized, simple network planning and administration tool within the Microsoft Office 365 ecosystem. So there's one place you would go, you put all your information in, and you can just reuse it endlessly. One single place to update. So who are we targeting? If you have your users online in Office 365, you're my customer. It's very simple. So what do we have? And I'm just going to show it to you in a little bit so that you know, but at least this gives you some context. So you can create one or more organizations. There's no real limit there. Those organizations are basically versions of the Excel sheet, if you're familiar with the Excel sheet. Your organization represents your company and a state in your company. So perhaps your company today, you can create a new organization for your company in 10 years. Or perhaps for your company after the acquisition of the new company. You can create, delete, edit, manage locations. They're being represented as networking sites. A nice thing about that, we built some smartness when it comes to call analytics and CQD. So if you already have your sites in CQD, you go to CQD, export your sites, take that file, import to the network planner, and now all your sites in the network planner. And you have a nice GUI to make changes to all of your sites. It's also a nice next, finish experience that you've come to rely on. It helps you through this whole process. At that point, you can create and edit personas to represent that employee behavior. For instance, do they not use video calling? So I am, and hence my weird accent, I'm from Europe and I'm from the Netherlands. Oh, one back. I'm from the Netherlands, and we tend to use video in our calls. And if you look at a lot of the Northern European countries, video is quite often used. If you look at a lot of the Southern European countries, video just isn't that popular. I want my personas to represent that. So I create a Northern Europe persona that uses video heavily, and I create a Southern European persona that uses it lightly. And you can do easy things like that. So your personas represent your people. After that, you click on Calculate. It tells you exactly how much bandwidth we believe you would need to implement Teams, to implement Skype for Business. We'll give you some advice on changes you need to make to your network. And the thing I like, you get 3 kinds of reports out of it. So you get a report for your networking team that will tell you exactly we expect this much bandwidth in the audio queue, this much bandwidth in the video queue, this much bandwidth in your, well, dump queue, so to say. This much in basically just signaling traffic. Then we get a nice report with pretty pictures in green and red that you can give to your management, that you can basically say, well, I need $50,000 because it's red and we need to get it green. And we have some customized advice. So 15 minutes, doing well. So instead of just talking about it, I just wanted to take you through one of those experiences. So it is part of my advisor. So let me make sure the demo's working. Demo goals. There we go. Oh, it's still working. So when you sign into my advisor, this is the website you'll get. So I made sure the screen was large enough. So if you can't see it, move forward. That's really the only solution I have. So we have a tab here called Network Planner. And if you go there, I kind of cheated because I already made a calculation. It will tell you something. It will either tell you it will tell all of you guys, start my calculation. Since I already did one, it would tell me to modify my calculation. So okay, let's just do that. One of the caveats I do want to note, and we've put that here, is that the network planner is targeted at companies that have all of their users homed online. If you're currently, so even if you're hybrid, like CCE or on-prem PSTN connectivity via existing Skype for Business pool, but your users are online, great. Go ahead. If you're currently on-premises, or if you are currently still hosting a lot of users on-premises, you should be using our existing tools. They work great, they're there. We are on a journey towards the cloud, so this is really focused at that cloud journey. So let's start my calculation, and as soon as I press the button, oh, you see, I pressed modify. You go to your organization, and basically this holds your organization. So I have a Contoso, I've got a Fabricam, I've got a Whitney Durrell, I've got Crumpets and Tea as a tribute to Lester. So I've got multiple organizations, and each of my organizations have their own personas, have their own calculations and sites and everything. So let's take a look at Contoso right now. And I go to sites. And I now just click on site, but there's also this button that will get you there. And I've added some offices. So you will see some things here. So it will tell me, hey, what are my offices? So I've given each of the offices a name. It will tell me that this site status is fully completed. It will tell me that the location, the country, and how many users are in that specific location. Let's just create a, we can create new sites here. So for those that really like the Excel experience, we're sorry, we kind of changed that. So when you think about the fully completed little portion, the fully complete is because I've given it all the information on this page and on the next page. Let's say you're working with a customer or you don't want to tell us that information. You don't have to. As long as we have a site name and a site user count, we are golden and we will give you all the calculations you need. If you give us more information, we can do more cool stuff for you. So we will need some of the, like the building name, the zip codes, the states and the regions. When you give us that information, we can also show this on a nice map. And we can export that information to CQD, so you don't have to do this in a super cool CSV file anymore. So let's just call this OCC, and I'll do save and continue. So I really only need to do a site name. That's only required, right? Nothing else. And I can add multiple subnets. So let's say this is the 192.168.1.0. This is a 24 subnet mask. I can do as many subnets as I want. I can give it a user count, let's say 50. Is this site using ExpressRoute or not? Well, it's not. Is it connected to the WAN or not? Well, it is. My WAN capacity is 10. It's an EFQ of 1, an AFQ of 2. Let's do 2, not 0, 2. Is my internet egress local or remote? The site internet link capacity, excuse me, also 10. What's my site internet egress point? It was local, so this doesn't work. And where does my PSTN egress go out? So just super simple information that you put in. And once you put all this information in, you're already good to go for CQD, right? You can now just export this, input this into CQD, and now your office location is completed. So that makes life a lot easier there. One of the other things you can do, no, go away. I'm going to delete this one. Yes. Because I'm going to show you some of the cool stuff that we've built in. So once again, overdoing it. So I've created all these sites. They all have local PSTN. They have a WAN. They're located to the local internet. That's not the case for all locations, right? So perhaps the Schiphol office actually gets their internet through the Redmond location, right? So in my network information, let's say I want to have something different here, and it's connected to a WAN, but my internet egress is remote. It will give me all the locations I can actually go to for my remote internet to accurately reflect your sites. So let's say I go to Vienna, and now I can also say, well, if let's go with the local, I can actually say, well, my site PSTN egress. Sorry, this is not connected to the WAN, and now I can say, oh, I didn't select this, stupid me. It will also allow you to set PSTN egress points in different locations to accurately distribute your PSTN locations. If you set something like the WAN to no, and then you go to internet egress, well, it has to be local or else well, it's going to be a very lonely site. So we build a lot of smartness in there to help you guide through this wizard and to avoid you from making mistakes. Because we saw the #1 issue with the previous tool was basically people completing it and then making a small mistake here and there, setting a site as a remote site that couldn't be used as a remote site. So we built a lot of this logic in the back end so that you wouldn't make that small mistake. So because if I were you, I wouldn't believe me when I said you can easily import from CQD. So what I have right here, and let's go to the desktop, and there's a file here, ignite. So I have a demo. So my demo.csv, this really is, so this really is a file you would get from CQD, right? So imagine adding new subnets or changing for the Schiphol office, changing the province or something like that. That's always been fun. So what I can actually do is I can, instead of just now editing this, I can just go here, I'll do browse, I'll take my CSV file, I'll upload it, and this is smart enough to actually completely parse this file. It will import the site, and so this is the thing I think is very cool. It will find the different subnets. Let's go here. And it will actually group the subnets. You can see it will group the subnets together per site, will automatically clean it up, will make sure it's there, and you can easily import the files directly from CQD into the planner. When I do this, it will mark all the sites as incomplete. Why would the sites now be incomplete? User count, there we go, because CQD doesn't know about your users. So we do mark them as incomplete. And in the upload portion that I showed, you could actually go to the first column and immediately add the user count there. Or I can just add them here and add it to sites. So I'll go back to my, prepared one, the Contoso one. So we've seen that we can manually add sites. We can upload them directly from CQD. I can also download a sample Excel file. The sample Excel file is a big Excel file. You basically get something like this. This is a pre-completed one, and the Excel file will just show you, yes, go. So it will show you now the full capabilities, including user count and things like that. So if you take the sample file, you can just easily send this out to your networking team. Hey, could you please complete this? Your HR team, hey, can you complete the office locations, please? Things like that. So you can get a very easy way to import all these things. Now, I always forget if I actually put in all the users correctly, so we've all the sites correctly, so we create a geographic view. And once you click on that, it will actually show you, hey, these are all the locations you've told us about. All your locations are right here. So we can do a quick check. Hey, is this correct? Did I actually put in all the locations? And this is a great first start of my management report. I take a nice snippet and I show them, hey, I'm going to talk about these locations. These are my locations that I'm going to do the network planning for. So with that, I've now added the sites. They're fully completed. They're there. I have to create some personas. So, and in the bottom, there's a nice button right here. Oh, let's go back to sites. There's a nice button right here that says, okay, I've done this. Let's create some personas. So this really is a flow that you're going through, right? I create my organizations, my site. Let's create some personas. I already created some. It's the same as before. You add a new persona. You give it a name. So this is Orlando. So there we go. Because Orlando's in the room. Got you, Orlando. We have Orlando, and we set audio use the same as if you were used to the Excel sheet. This all works the same thing. We do ask for the type of PSTN connectivity. We have announced this week PSTN calling or calling plan for Teams. So this one persona gets used for Teams and for Skype for Business. However, if you select CCE or hybrid, unfortunately, CCE and hybrid, we'll talk more about that soon, but right now we only calculate for PSTN calling plan for Teams. So if you select CCE, you will see that your numbers for Teams will be empty. Anyway, so you walk through this, set the PSTN usage to medium, to low, to none. If you're, excuse me, if you're interested in knowing, hey, what do all these numbers mean, every page has a nice click here. And once we go there, you go to the help page with the section. It will explain exactly what the section does, what the modality numbers are, how we came to that, how the calculations work. It explains all of the things that you're doing right there with beautiful screenshots. So we've done the organizations, we've done the sites, we've done the personas, so now we go to the calculator. One of the things we can do with this website is we can continuously update the website in the backend, and that's what we're doing. So these concurrency numbers and these and the usage and the data consumption for each modality, we can actually run statistics against our backend, and we will know exactly, hey, how much does the average team user, how much calls are they in? How much conferences are they in? And we use that data to feed back in our calculators to get you more accurate numbers. And as we're ramping up Teams, we're now for Skype for Business, we're pretty okay with the numbers. With Teams, we're ramping up these numbers as we move forward and we see Teams usage increase. So right now, they're really in their early stages, and they're very identical to Skype for Business, and we will keep updating them and ramping them up as we move forward. That's the beauty of the website, because we can actually do that. To keep sending out updated Excel sheets every week, that seemed to be not the best idea. When we're in the persona distribution, every persona you've created, you'll see show up here. Every site you have, you'll see show up here. If you don't want to calculate for a specific site, I can just uncheck the site and we don't calculate for the site. Once we distribute users, so let's say I now do this 10, 10. This I say, hey, you've made a boo-boo. You didn't distribute all of the users. So we do put some smartness and some thought in this. We allow you to save the user count, and we don't allow you to save the calculation. And the reason for that is, once you log into the site again, we want to make sure that the calculation is done again, because perhaps we've updated the numbers in the backend. So that way you won't lose your user distribution, you won't lose any of the work you've done, and you always get the latest planning numbers from us. Now, once I've done this, I click Calculate, and now it becomes sort of boring, because now all we get is numbers. But we were also kind of looking for numbers, so it's a win-win. So we do get all the numbers. We can export it right here to an Excel sheet, so you can give this to your networking team. You will get your audio numbers, you will get your video numbers, desktop sharing, file sharing, IMAP presence, for both the WAN impact as well as the Office 365 impact. We will show all the values in Mbit. And these are our initial planning numbers, and you will see them here for Skype for Business, and we have them here for Teams. So because, oh, you see, and I had a Canada office too. I thought an appropriate name would be Moose's A. I know Scott will look at the recording, and then he'll see, hey, Canada's in there. Anyway, so all the offices, sometimes I like a goldfish. I get easily distracted about stuff. I know that. So it's a great thing I finished this. If you look at these numbers, we have the numbers for Teams, we have the numbers for Skype for Business in here. You can extract them or export them directly into an Excel sheet, so you can send them off to your networking team. They can start planning. You will get a total number of Office 365 connection impact and a WAN connection impact. We also take into account, for instance, if you say, well, this site connects through over the WAN. Let's say this site doesn't have an internet connection, so we go over the WAN to another site. Those numbers will all be taken into account. We'll add that to the WAN. We'll add that to Office 365, so that's all being taken care of. But now we have pretty numbers. And pretty numbers, they're not sexy, right? So we have the numbers, and now we have to give them to management, and they'll say, wow, those are cool numbers. Why did you need money again? Well, because the numbers are not good. Yeah, they look fine to me. So we have created reports for you. Did I actually click it? I think I did. No, I didn't. So we've created pretty reports. And it's just super stupid, simple things that we put in there. Like small locations have a small house. Big locations have a bunch of houses. This is one of the things I'm super proud of. Everybody keeps laughing at me, but I like it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, because here's the thing, right? If I take these numbers and I show them to someone in management, it needs to relate. It needs to have a story to them. So this is like, oh, we've got some smaller locations like Argentina. We have a small location, for instance, here in Tampa and in Canada. And these are the small locations. And we have large locations, like in headquarters, large location. We've got medium location in Johannesburg. We will show you if the impact on the WAN Office 365 connection is healthy. Right? It's green, so it's healthy. You can actually say how much, excuse me, oh, I was doing so well. If you can actually say, well, I don't want to spend more than, let's say, 15% on real-time communication, all of my connections. It will update the picture for you. You can just copy this picture, you can make a PDF of it, put this in your report, and this will immediately tell you what the impact is on both the Office 365 and the WAN connection. We can do this for Skype for Business, we can do this for Teams. We'll show you directly as an overlay in a nice place to use in your reports. One of the other things excuse me, we worked really hard on is our recommendations portion. Because we know the numbers, you've told us about your EFQs, we should definitely use that. So one of the things we're doing here is that we're basically saying, oh, you know what? In this case, let's say the first site, let's say the Schiphol office. Well, our planning numbers indicate that you should be fine. Your WAN impact, your Office 365 impact, and your real-time communication WAN impact on both the WAN and Office 365 are lower than the queues you've told us about. So you should be good. We do this for each site, and if something is not great, let's just do site prepared. So let's do this. And you can say what your primary workload is. So let's say everybody switch to Teams. And let's say you have a site that wouldn't be performing well. So we have Johannesburg. We actually tell you things like, hey, the calculated bandwidth for Microsoft Teams video over the WAN is larger than the queue you've told us you have. You should investigate that. And I'm just looking to add some pretty colors to that and help you a little bit more out with that. But we will, it's super simple in the back end, right? We know the numbers, we know what you've told us, we have this information, and previously you told us because we'd like to know this in CQD, but now we've really consolidated this into one simple planner. So that's a super quick overview of the network planner. So we've gone through all of that, and for each section, we of course have the help section here. The thing that I just realized I skipped over is when you're in sites, so even if you just want to use this for CQD, right, for editing your CQD data, I'll show you how to import the CQD data. There's a little bit of a trick to export it because you actually have to press the export button and then you have to click in CQD format. And now you can export this, and this file will get eaten up by CQD, and now you've updated all your sites in CQD. So this is our first step. This is where we want to get started. So you can do network planning for Teams, you can do network planning for Skype for Business from this one simple website. You can create your reports, you can see what you need to change, need to update, and you can go also import and export to CQD and call analytics from here. So, network planner. What else I want to show? Yes. Some of the things that I did want to show you is what we're planning to do with the network planner. So when moving forward, if I'm allowed to do so, you have to be careful. So if moving forward, what we plan to add to network planner is we're really looking forward to your feedback. So there's a big feedback button in My Advisor. It's part of My Advisor. So it's part of the whole tool set that will help you walk through any deployment and will get you done with Teams and Skype for Business. We really need your feedback. So some of the feedback that we've already collected and what we're going to add is we really want the customer to own this data. And then you have contributor roles. So as a partner, you would log in. You can add the network data, but the customer is owning the data. You could have read-only viewers here. And it's actually fairly simple for us to build, because we've built this as a large framework. Some of the other things that we're looking into adding is additional workloads. So why not add SharePoint? Why not add Exchange? Why not add additional Office 365 workloads to the centralized planning tool? And to see what other workloads need this data in a particular format. Because now we have the building data, we have the user count, we have the networking data. If there's a tool out there that says, well, we need a specific CSV file to function correctly with Office 365, we can just make that. It's super simple for us. So those are the things that we're looking into. There are obviously some things with overlaying with real-time data, some deeper advice coming directly from Network Planner, because this is really, as the name says, to plan your bandwidth moving forward, to plan the usage of Teams and Skype for Business. We also want to combine that with, okay, you planned for this, but you're actually using that, so this is what you should change. So one of the other things that I did want to show you, because I do have some time for that, who's familiar with the network assessment tool from Microsoft? Who likes it? I do. Oh, a lot of hands went down. That makes me very sad. Okay, so for those people that haven't heard about it, I will show you something cool. Because I think, so we have this network assessment tool. Oh, CD, not DC. With the network assessment tool, a network assessment tool is a tool that you can run on both client segments of your network as well as your edge segment. It will test the connectivity to the Microsoft network and will tell you if you meet the requirements of, that we give you to get a decent real-time communication experience. So this tool is valid for both Skype for Business as well as for Teams. And there is a set of requirements, it's in Success with Teams, there's a set of requirements that you must meet as a customer to ensure that we can give you a good experience with real-time communication traffic. Now, one of the feedbacks that and it's basically this one, right? So you go this, you do this, and then it places a call and it tells you, these are the results, and you can run it through our little analyzer, and then it will tell you a pass or a fail. And if you have a fail, you should really, well, fix some stuff. Super simple tool, and we're looking to our partners to make a nice GUI out of this and make it a little bit better. So one of the other things that we've added, because we all know this is there. Now it's time for the magic. Because this doesn't work in your tool yet, but it does in mine. There we go. Oh, I'm very bad at typing. Where's the typo? It's connectivity check, not remote. Oh, I took away a little bit of the thunder, I'm sorry. There we go. So what we do is we now test each and every transport relay that we have in our environment. Can we reach this on port 3478? Yeah, it's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. So can we reach this on port 3478, 798081, UDP and TCP, port 80 on TCP, 443, oh, crash. You see, this is why you don't have it yet. There we go. Still, try it again, because but we saw it running. I'm just hoping it gets it all done. Every single port is tested, UDP and TCP. We get your report on which transport relays you couldn't reach. Oh, too bad. It doesn't do that portion. Yeah, there's some error catching that we need to do. This will be live, well, not this one. The working one will be live in about 3 weeks. You can pester me if it's not online yet. This gets saved to a separate text file, and one of the plans that I have with Network Portal is to do some nice analysis and some automation of this tool. You will test every single transport relay that your clients could reach, so you know if your ports are open or not, and you will get, we will actually download an updated list of the transport relays from our online services So the tool will always be up to date. So that's one of the other changes that we've made to make the life easier with network planning and getting ready for Teams and Skype for Business. And with that, and 4 minutes left on the clock, I'm going to open it for questions, or for the people that really want to go now, I wish you a safe trip to home. Yes. I bid you adieu. Any questions? Go ahead, yelling aloud, or else then I'm going to thank you. Oh, we have one question. There we go. You saved me. Yes. Hello. Can we get the mic? Hello. His mic isn't working, Orlando. Oh, should be. Oh, you broke it. Oh, that's what we get. Just run to the different microphone.
The question is, can we export the in Excel file?
So can we export the Excel file from the network planner, I suppose? Yes. There's also a function to export sites to Excel. So CQD or all site information, that's an Excel file.
All right. Yeah.
There we go. Is it wireless?
Yes, wireless. Someone turned it off.
Ah, fumble. There we go. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
To tip down a little. The hardest part is really building the personas. I'm looking to move from Skype to Teams. Is there anything I can export from CQD that can help me build my personas better?
So I'm going to tell you a secret about personas. And it's in the text as well. The real difference in personas is whether you use a modality or not. Low, medium, high doesn't make that much of a difference. A lot of people think it does. But not using video has a much higher impact than the difference between medium and high. We will ensure that the numbers for medium are the average numbers we see. And what I usually recommend is to just ask a customer, are there specific modalities that you have disabled? And if they've disabled those, I put them to none. If they haven't, I put them to medium. And there are very few occasions in which you would go high. Call centers, yeah, sure, high. It's all about large numbers, right? And for each, and some customers say, oh, but there's this one guy, he's always on the phone, need to have a separate persona for him. Well, but for the one guy on the phone all day, there will be another guy that's like, yeah, I'll pretend to work today. It's large numbers. The impact is so small that only becomes really relevant when you're dealing with like 5-person offices. As soon as you go over 100 or 150, it's not super relevant anymore. Then the impact is, am I using or not using a modality? So with that, I hope that helped you a little bit. Then the rest is really asking customers, do you know how you're using existing modality today? And that's also not super relevant, to be honest, because the way you're using a hard phone today is going to be way different than using Skype for Business or Teams. So go with medium. That'd be if there are planning numbers, go with medium, and from there, use CQD and relevant technologies to scale up or scale down wherever needed. Fair enough? Oh, 52 seconds. So, more questions? If not, then we are good to go on time. All right, thank you.